Hey everybody!
I am the king of Goblin Town.
Right on the face.
Wow, that's racist. I'm going to keep that in.
Is it?
Yeah,
Racist to goblins.
racist against goblins that aren't actually goblins in the film.
Right.
Terrible. Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back to Full Starts Podcast. It's a podcast about movies.
It is a spodcast.
Yes, it is. You heard what I said. With me, as always, is Ash
I love talking about spots.
and Lewis.
And I enjoy talking about casts.
Do you now? Lewis, would you rather...
Do you want to take some time to think about it, Dan?
No, I've got this. Would you rather fight George Orwell or George Harrison to death?
Harrison.
Harrison, you think you could take him?
Well, he's a hippie flower man, isn't he?
Okay.
Orwell was a big beefy man who loves like peas and he's going to have big
He
strong
loves
bones.
peas.
He eats all his greens, he's going to be big and strong and take me down.
Ashley, who would you fight?
I have to concur. You can't fight someone who eats that many beans. Peas, even.
He loves peas. Mouth full of peas the whole time. That's why he spoke the way he did in the latter years, because of all the bees in his mouth.
All right, roll the intro.
The brand new day.
It's a new day. Yes, it is.
Hallelujah.
So, guys,
I want to hear what Lewis has to say about the John Carters.
about John Carter of Mars.
Don't we want to hear about a poll?
We do want to hear about Paul first. Of
Jesus. Of
course we do. I know, I was teasing you.
Okay. We'll introduce the poll then, and then
So we had a poll, which I had to serendipitously...
That'll do.
Oh, that was...
serendipitously.
Oh, it's going so good, and I haven't had any beer. So we had a poll talking about our last film, Repo. And the winners...
Say the full thing.
Repo! The Genetic Opera.
Yes.
And both me and Lewis drawed 40%.
Huzzah. If I could remember what they were, I would congratulate you.
My one had
Don't care. Don't care, Lewis.
Terence Zadunik cutting off his own face,
Little glass vial.
revealing that inside he was a lady all along.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Dude looks like a lady. Or something like that.
It's progressive, is what it is.
So, high five for a joint victory. Thank you. So, John Carter. We watched that for this month's Full Start.
Yep.
Didn't we?
A film
did
that
indeed.
I thought came out in the year 2000.
No, 2012 was when it came out.
Yes.
It's based on the book series by Edgar Rice Burroughs, which is the Bosom series. At least that's what I found on. You can just Google John Carter of Mars.
Author of Tarzan as well.
Yes, he did do Tarzan.
Yes, he did do Tarzan.
John Carter got his first appearance in 1912 as a sort of pulp.
I'm going to do a Tarzan yell into the microphone. Ready?
Oh, Lewis, you just spiked the mic.
Oh, dear. That's why we had to cut it out.
I know.
I love you guys. What was I saying?
You were
Tarzan.
talking about John Carter.
Oh yeah, started off life in
By Edgar Allan
1912.
I can
Poe.
dig it. Who's the man who likes to jump?
That's it.
John Carter.
I was trying to figure out how to work that in properly. Yeah, he got it. So 1912, first appearance. In the sort of pulp comics, which we've never read because we weren't alive then.
Who reads comics?
Which, by the way, this movie is his 100 years since he's appeared in any form of media. So it's technically his 100th anniversary.
Shit way to celebrate your centenary, wasn't it?
Yep. It was directed by Andrew Stanton.
Spoilers, I didn't like the film.
Shocker. He made Wally. He wrote and he directed Wally and Finding Dory and Finding Nemo.
Wait. Oh, Wally. I thought, hang on, there's a Where's Wally film?
No, he was a writer on Bugs Life, Toy Story 1 and 2, Monsters Inc. He'd done other stuff like for
Part of the Pixar Brain Trust.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And this seems to, well, from what I can tell, it was like his first and only live action film he ever did. Was John Carter, because I looked through his list and I couldn't see anything else other than animated stuff.
Yeah, you won't.
No.
Yeah, direction
So-
was not great.
What were your thoughts? Give me your first ones. Your first thoughts of this film.
I didn't enjoy it very much.
Is it bad?
I'm looking at a page of prose. that is.
It goes on.
That's a lot of
It goes on.
what I hope is anger.
Well, I have a lot of notes because there's a lot of film here.
There is, although
There
it's
is a lot
only-
of film that tells you nothing and a lot of stuff at the same time.
See, I did not know that this was based on a book until I started watching the film, and then it's very obvious. It has the feel of an Aragon or something like that, where obviously this has been a transition from the book, and they've lost things, or some things just don't look right on screen or appear right. But I'm sure the book was fine, because the story I kind of like, and you've got the very obvious A to Z hero turns up at place, finds out it's all gone to fuck, and then has to sort it out, and then goes back home.
Well, I mean, there is a reason for that. I mean, this is essentially what inspired stuff like Superman and Star Wars and even like Avatar. You can see it when you watch the film.
Definitely
How
a
it's,
Superman, yeah.
the proto ideas, but
Speaking of the story, I have a note on that, and I'll get there when I get there.
So I said
I have a
before,
lot of ground to cover.
I thought this film came out in 2000 because I've confused it with something like Prince of Persia or something like that.
Also, didn't come out in 2000.
nope.
Was there not a Prince of... I know there was one that came out in
There's
2010.
been precisely one Prince of Persia with Jake Gyllenhaal, and that's it.
Jake Gyllenhaal was Prince of Persia?
Yeah,
He was.
He was. It also wasn't a very good film.
I know that bit. For some reason I thought this was an early turn of the century film, and then when just typing in John Carter, it just comes up 2012. And by the way, the 7th most expensive film ever made. It's like this movie completely passed me by.
Yeah. Do you want to know what its budget was?
It was over 200 mil.
Was
Wasn't
it
it?
260?
No.
230?
It was 250 million. Well, this is estimated because
I
apparently there was
would have got
also-
there eventually, Dan. If you let me carry on saying numbers.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, it is estimated though. Apparently, there were rumours that they'd be given an extra 20 million for making this movie, which the director was like, no, that didn't happen, no. So but I mean, world gross only made 284 million, or just over 284 million.
Yeah. I think Disney lost, $200 million on the end of this, factoring in marketing costs and everything.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I think at the end of that quarter, they lost 84 million, and they said it's probably reckoning that this movie factors into that quite heavily.
Yeah, well, it'll be this and The Lone Ranger, which came out around the same time. So.
Also an awful film.
I'm sure we'll cover Lone Ranger at some point on this podcast.
To.
You don't want to watch Johnny Depp have a bird on his head because he saw it in a picture. Sorry, a painting.
I don't want to watch Johnny Depp, full stop.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
So talking of Disney, it's got Lewis's favourite thing at the very beginning.
Yeah, should we
Opening
start?
narration.
Shall
Let's start. Let's start talking
let's
about
start.
the
Shall we
It's
go on now?
red. The Disney
it's red.
logo's all red,
Yeah,
Lewis.
it's red. My notes begin at 0 hours, 0 minutes, and 1 second. I'm not the biggest fan of companies changing up their logos at the top of the films, as I've said before.
I am.
Disney is the most egregious at it. I think all the past few Disney movies I've seen, they've changed up the logo at the start somehow. I mean, the new Disney logo is already too long. It's like 30 seconds long. I've never liked the new one. I want the old blue castle back with the that one. That was nice. That was classy. But here it's the long ass 30-second new Disney logo, and they've not even properly changed it. It's just red. They've just whacked up the RGB, the R on the RGB levels. And I'm thinking, is this indicative of what's to come? This is just lazy, and it fucking is. This is the logo sums up the movie perfectly. It's fucking lazy.
I mean, I'll give you that. I'll give you that because I was expecting more to come. I was expecting more. Okay, well, this is red, and what's the next one going to? And there
Maybe
was
they'll put some dust on it or something. Maybe they'll turn the landscape into Mars. They didn't. They just put a fucking red filter on it. Just whacked up the R on the RGB. And yes, I know, listeners, it's probably Rec 709. Shut up.
It's funny because they were so proud of that, they also put it at the end of the film, at the very end. Yeah, I watched all the way to the end. I watched the credits.
Why?
Is this where you tell us there's a post-credit scene?
I was checking. No, there is no post-credit scene.
I have another note before the 1 minute mark.
Is it the narration?
Yeah,
The opening narration?
we get a plot dump right up top. And if there's anything we've learned on the podcast, if there's an animated opening or a voiceover plot dump at the start of your film, it's not gonna be a good movie.
How else would you have explained that within the space of this film then?
You don't.
To be honest,
You
this
don't.
film
You
doesn't
lose.
tell you enough.
You
no,
lose
true.
all that shit. That entire plot, that entire subplot about fucking the red man fighting the other red ladies. Lose it. Couldn't give a fuck.
Yeah, give you that.
Yeah.
I should probably say I quite enjoyed this film. Didn't love it. Parts of it definitely bored me. But it's probably because I went in there really not expecting much. But I like the big budget sci-fis. And that's kind of what this is.
I would like listeners to get in touch with us and just let us know, is there any movie out there with a opening plot dump or an animated scene at the beginning that are good?
I didn't
What's
watch...
that meant to be?
That was meant to be, and I completely fucked it up and carried on. Star Wars.
What, you were doing a wedding march?
I was, wasn't I? And then it kind of went a bit Superman-y.
Are we married now?
I hope so.
Good.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. So, movie kicks off, we get a nice big old fight. And between red people and blue people.
And Dominic West is there, and this is the third movie we've covered with him in it.
I know,
Yeah.
Dominic West, right?
Which immediately makes my expectations of the film plummet. So
He's officially the mascot of this podcast now, is Dominic West.
Forever in our hearts.
we are the averagest podcast with the averagest Moscow? Bloody hell.
Do you want to try that again?
No, I think it's perfectly fine. Thank you very much.
Goodwill from The Wire is only going to get you so far. He needs a better agent.
I know. Have you noticed though? In this movie, there's a lot of faces you go, "Oh, I recognise him, but I don't know where from."
Yeah.
Like throughout this film, it's like I know, and like yeah, you could just IMDb it, but you're not gonna.
There was one I IMDb'd because I was sure he was someone else and he wasn't.
There was one who I was certain was Stanley Tucci and was not Stanley Tucci.
No, that was Mark Strong.
That was Mark Strong.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or as I called them when so in the opening scene.
Go on, you say, but I definitely have an alternative name for them as well.
Okay. So the opening scene, we see a big fight between red and blue because we were red during the American Civil War, American Revolution even, and Americans were blue. Not that I'm saying anything about why red's always evil, but anyway. Opening
Because of red alert. Boy.
Yeah, of course. Opening salvo, big fight happens, and one of the red guys gets greeted by 3 Mobies who turn up and give him a big blue veiny thing around his arm.
Yes.
That's the best way I can describe it.
I say Tilda Swintons.
Swinton's?
3 Tilda Swintons turn up and give him the power of the blue goo.
3 Matt Lucases turn up.
And sing about the potato. Thank you, baked potato.
And then we head down to Earth in Virginia.
Which is actually called Marshbluff.
Virginia.
Virginia.
It's like Willem Dafoe's in the room.
We go down there and we find...
Are we in Virginia yet?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure...
Because I'm at
at
7 minutes. I don't think we're at Virginia yet.
I'm not.
Okay,
I'm
what
just
have you got to say at 7 minutes?
Okay, well, at 7 minutes, my note is that something is jumping out to me about the look of this movie.
Cheap.
That I can't
Cheap for
I can't put my finger on it because
budget.
I thought it was shot digitally, and it's not because it was shot on film. It was shot on Panasonic Millennium cameras. But the film just looks too clean and too clear, too colourful and drab at the same time.
It's weird, isn't it?
It's got
There are certain
Star Wars
colours
Episode
they
1.
pick.
It's got your shiny side, like CGI, but in Tatooine, which is a shithole. So that was what I had.
It's
with it.
off.
Especially with the solar panels they've got on the planes.
That makes the planes fly.
Yeah, and the way those were just... I mean, I get it's probably like an artistic choice, the way they were kind of gyrating to move with the sun, but it just looked odd. I mean, it is...
Yeah, they look like dragonflies.
Yeah.
Only with a bunch of people with a bunch of tattoos on them.
The first 10 minutes of this movie is all preamble to get to the point where the nephew can read the diary of John
yes,
Carter.
of course. I forgot about that bit. Nephew, who's Edgar Rice Burroughs.
Yes.
Who Okay, yeah, let's just give him
Spoilers,
the name
end of the
author.
movie. The end of the movie, John Carter's nephew is the writer of John Carter.
I mean,
It's like one of the stupidest things I think I know. I don't know if that's true.
Is
to
that
the
because
book.
one of my favourite films is The Man Who Would Be King, written by Rudyard Kipling, and a key character in that is Rudyard Kipling himself. So I kind of like it, and an author has the ability to write themselves into something, so let them do it.
I'd not read the John Carter books, but I would
Yeah,
put money on it that he didn't do that.
Yeah, I can't tell you whether
Okay.
or not he wrote himself into it. I can probably put that down to the director
Yes.
being not very good because he had complete creative control over this.
Yeah, I remember reading.
And
Yeah, but
He had control over marketing as well.
yeah,
no wonder I didn't fucking see it.
Yeah, I mean that would be one of the reasons why no one went to see it. Remember when movies tried to make Taylor Kitsch happen?
I thought
No.
he was one of the better things in this film.
It was around the same time as movies tried to make Sam Worthington a thing. It's like Fetch.
Yeah, but he's still going to be a thing because of all these Avatar films.
No, he's not going to be a thing. He's just contracted to do him.
well, all I could think of when I saw our titular John Carter was you were in one of the worst X-Men movies of all time, playing one of my favourite X-Men, and
Yeah.
I'm not letting that go.
Around the same time when movies tried to make Taylor Kitsch a thing, and he's not an action hero. He's a good dramatic actor.
Well, there's
he's
a
good
thing.
in True Detective and Friday Night Lights, but this sort of thing
Yes.
he can't do. This and X-Men is not him.
There are no action film scenes in this film
There are.
because it's the same as Narnia. It can't show blood, and every
There's
time,
loads of blood.
Blue
Or
blood.
alien blood.
yeah, and every time there's actual combat, it's oh no, I ran into a weapon. It's never, I'm actually cleaving at someone with some force. It's they ran into me. It's like I was always remember the first time I saw the first Narnia film in the cinemas. And there's meant to be this huge redeeming moment for one of the characters who slays a wolf single-handed. No, a wolf jumps on him and then dies.
So, okay, yeah, I forgot the nephew turns up, he reads the diary, and he learns it all started 13 years ago
Yes.
when he was not wanting to be a part of the Civil War? Yes, Civil War. Because Bryan Cranston catches him and puts him in a jail cell.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston's in the movie for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like Godzilla.
Go, yeah,
Yeah.
paycheck somewhere.
So, the very beginning of that back to Earth bit, we've got some diatribe about, oh, if you want to do a telegram, it has to be at least 10 words, and then we'll send it off for 50 cents. And then he says, okay, and here's 8 words. And he says, oh, okay, we'll send that faster then.
You hand him a chunk of gold that you can possibly
No,
use
it wasn't a
not
chunk of
prob-
gold, it was a coin.
Was it just a coin? I thought
John
it was a chunk
Carter
of gold.
loves gold.
The gold bit comes later on in the tavern.
Oh, yes, of course.
So
yeah.
it just gives him a coin and he just looks at it and like barely glances at it. So it has to be a standard denomination coin that he would know. And then he goes, oh, I guess you want it faster then. So-
Here's a British pound. Do my bidding. And then he runs away. He escapes from in the
It's an
prison.
unnecessary scene.
Yes, it is.
The movie is
Entirely,
full of them. We could just see Ned opening the telegram or arriving at John Carter's house and being fed the explanation by
Or
the
I,
butler.
I would
We
definitely
could
say
just
it's the
have-
direction that let this film down.
Yes, well, we could just have John Carter wake up on Mars and go from there. And then
No,
say
because
the
you need
fact that he's an Earthling copied over. Spoilers.
yeah, but you need that impetus. You need to show the life he had on Earth that he wants to get back
And then
to.
you lose the second best thing about the movie, which is Bryan Cranston's 5 minutes.
No, that was a terribly directed piece. It was Bryan Cranston expositing the list of the
Yeah.
things of this main character, what makes this character such a main character.
Yep.
Why you love him?
And then he keeps getting interrupted because Johnny Boy's a survivor, isn't he? He can escape from anywhere. But then every flash forward we have to the next moment is cool. The just conversation carries on. It's just
Someone
and,
came up, paused Bryan Cranston, wait,
Yes.
pause.
and whenever they said
Okay, he's back in the room. Okay, play.
he's an exemplary cavalryman. I don't know why, but that just the first few times they said that, I just heard cabaret man. I just went, there's the man you want.
Actually, there's a small nitpick thing. When he's running away from the Confederacy, not the Confederacy, the
Union.
Americans.
Yeah.
The horse chase.
Horse chase.
One
He's
one of the most exciting moments in the movie is his 30-second horse chase.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a small nitpick, but he gets quite a head start on the horse, and then all those other horses catch up to him like that immediately. Like
Happens in every movie though.
Yeah, but they're cavalrymen, and he's a cabaret man.
I like the horse chase. I like that they, we've left Frontierland at Disneyland Paris, and we were in an actual real location at this point, and the music is swelling and grand, and the vistas are beautiful, and it's over within 15 seconds.
Yep, and they end up in a cave full of gold, and then one of the Mobies tries to kill him.
Yes.
Which, can I point out, like, if he'd have just done nothing, John Carter would never have got involved.
Yes, but that's
That's kind of true with any story you
Yeah.
want to tell.
It is, yeah, no, don't get me wrong, like, the story happened because the story happened, but...
Call me Ishmael. I can't be fucked to get up today. So,
Do you want to be Ghostbusters? Nah. Someone else do it when they stay home.
I know it's a stupid thing, but I feel like when your first reaction to turn up and go, huh, a stranger, stab him!
yeah, wait till later on for Ghostbusters, Lewis.
No.
It's my pick today.
No. No. I will kick you in the testicles under this table.
I will move slightly.
I will chase you around the fucking room.
I will change my choice.
Good man. So, John Carter learning to walk and jump on Mars. 22
Yes.
minutes. That's where I am.
A certain Man of Steel vibe.
Oh, wait, we missed this nephew
to mind.
dude. Who
No, we spoke about him.
We
No
spoke
one
about
cares.
his nephew. Dude, you got something else than his nephew?
Well, he just looks like a cross between Jason Segel and Will Wheaton.
I thought he looked like a squashed Michael Cera.
Same thing.
Yep. All right. 22 minutes on. We're on Mars.
I feel like an actor I was never going to remember or see again.
And that.
John Carter's learning to walk and jump, and I write this.
Yeah.
This should be fun.
Should be.
Should be. It's not.
No, because
Because-
he flops. He flops like a dolphin. across
Yeah,
the sand.
because I've
No, you
never
see,
seen.
that could be fun. The thing that is wrong with it is the scene is a cliche, right? We've seen this scene. It's been done to death. Someone goes somewhere, has to learn something new, and they fail and fail and fail and fail and
Yeah.
fail, and then they do it. And it's been done to death. It should be fucking easy. You think about like Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man. Go Web, go!
Sam Raimi.
Yep, Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man.
Web. A Willem Dafoe masterpiece, might I add.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chronicle, same thing.
There is a beat. There's it's like a joke. There's da 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 da. There's a beat to the scenes, and the whole scene here where he's learning to jump and learning to run is the timing is off, and it's like that for the whole movie. The
Yes.
timing is off for the whole film.
And the cuts were in all the wrong place.
That's what I mean by the beats be wrong.
Yeah. But you're meant to have close up here and then pull back
It
and then
should
close
have
up.
been fun. It should have been an easy scene to do.
And also the fact that it was done like that is, I don't think I certainly can't think of at this time, see a more obvious use of wires that you could clearly see. Like, obviously not see the wires, but clearly see that wires were in effect.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but worse. Yeah, but so much worse.
Like, apparently, like, it was actually very uncomfortable every time he did one of those super jumps on the wires.
I fucking bet.
I can imagine.
Because they have to go like under the
Grundle.
crotchal area.
In the Nifkin area, yeah.
They're going to nip. And he's got no trousers on. They're going to nip.
But this is where he meets aliens as well.
On the planet Bar of Soap.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
I cannot remember the name of them suddenly.
Tarkat?
Tartarchus
Tarkus.
is a character. That's one of them. He's the main tribeman. Willem Dafoe,
Yes.
who took the role because he thought it would be fun to act while in a dressing gown and on stilts.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it would
Which, fair play to the man. I tip my beer to you, sir.
be. And the aliens here do look good.
Look okay.
They do. Again, they've got that Star Wars Episode 1 kind of vibe.
I mean, they
Well-
look photoreal. They're not standing out
Here
as...
comes
No,
one
they're-
of the things problem it's going to be recurring when we talk about this movie is that because we've had Star Wars, we've had Superman, we've had everything that this movie has, this series inspired before, that no matter what John Carter does, it's not going to be that interesting unless
Yeah.
you change it up. So it doesn't matter, like, yeah, sure, these are all scenes we've seen before and moves and action and quips we've all heard. John Carter did it first, but the movie came out last, so it doesn't matter that it was the grandfather of some of the biggest action movies out there.
No, I get it. Everything owes a lot to John Carter.
Yes.
But things have done it better since.
Yes. But would you like a little fact? I have a question
Is
for
it a
both of you.
tidbit?
It's not a tidbit, no.
Oh.
But it is a little bit of a quiz.
Okay.
So this movie could be considered one of the movies that's the longest time in development hell, right? So I want you to give me... So I said it in air quotes, which is great for an audio medium. I want you guys to give me a guess as to how long do you think this movie was in development for.
Pick one of us to go first.
Ashley, you go first.
I am going to say...
It's like The Price is Right.
I'm going to say 59 years.
That's Jeopardy.
59 years. I don't care. 59 years, yeah?
Yeah.
83.
83. Ash, you're the closest without going over. 79 years. So, production started in 1931, right? Robert Clampett, who directed Looney Tunes, he approached actually Edgar Rice Burroughs himself and said, "Would you like to make an animated feature of the first film?" Which based on the first book, Princess of Mars. Yep. And had it happened, it would have beat out Disney's Snow White by 6 years. It would have been the first animated feature. But that never happened. That fell through. And from then on, it just kept bouncing around to people. One of the people it bounced to was Ray Harryhausen, who was apparently going to do a stop motion one in the 50s.
Would have been good.
It would have been interesting.
I did like Harryhausen's work. Harryhausen.
Husenhausen, however you pronounce it, I'm not sure.
No. He was American. It's probably Hausen.
I decided to see in the film, I thought, I'm going to know how this plays out. I'm going to set myself some little bets to see if these things happen. And you know what? It turned out that neither of them did. So this film got the better of me.
What were your things?
The first one was being a human, he's going to be immune to Dominic Cooper's blue light.
Okay.
And the second one... Oh, no, wait. Oh, no. I was close with the second one. The second one was John Carter and the princess chick are going to get together, which I was right.
Joining the Bone Zone.
That's the 12th book in the series, isn't it? John Carter and the Princess Chick.
But I would have thought they would have given birth to the nephew. So, and then he would have returned to Earth with him, and then it would have given him away and raised him as a nephew.
I'm at half an hour in exactly.
Okay, so we've met. So to get back on track, he's met the aliens.
Yes.
They kidnapped him. There's a little comedy scene about jump for me and language, and they
which I
kidnap him
liked.
and they take the weird babies that are hard to look at.
But again, a nice idea. Something new which hasn't really been, maybe there's a reason for it, but hasn't really been aped by others since then.
Kill your young. Kill your weak even. Your weak young.
Is that what they were doing?
They killed the unhatched ones, yeah.
It was like, you didn't hatch, you're weak, blam.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
No weakness.
I thought it was just that we couldn't carry these ones back.
I had to put...
Why didn't you bring another horse thing?
I know, we don't get to learn that they're speaking, that they can understand each other
No.
until later on when he's chained up and they give him magical vodka and he can understand the language of Basum if only he'd let it in.
30 minutes in, right? There's too much going on in this movie.
Too much and not enough, telling you at the same time.
This is the movie as I understood it at 30 minutes in. We've got a guy waging war on Mars using blue magic light that's been given to him for some reason by Mark Strong, who's a teleporting monk.
Who works for the goddess.
Yeah, because the goddess told him to, even though we later find out the goddess doesn't exist.
Okay, well, I'm at 30 minutes, so this is as I understand the movie,
Sure.
right?
Okay.
Mark Strong, teleporting monk, gives Dominic Cooper a blue light thing to kill people. One of the monks shows up on Earth and nearly kills John Carter, who was in the middle of escaping sentencing for deserting the army while trying to find gold, who mysteriously gets transported to Mars, where he meets 4 armed, horny Willem Dafoe, and some baby aliens get killed. And there's a genius princess who can make the blue light magic, but her father wants to marry a bad guy. There's a mole in the king's court sabotaging the Mars genius princess's shit. He's an alien, but only because her eyes are bright and she's got a face tattoo. There's also something about someone on Earth dying and a nephew reading a book, but I don't give a shit because I'm so confused and I'm so bored and there's still an hour and 40 minutes left. And remember when Indiana Jones was just looking for the Ark of the Covenant, but so were the Nazis to the end? Fuck this movie!
But then they found the skull.
Like, there's so much and so little you can say about this film.
30 minutes!
I know. 30 minutes and that's what's gone on.
There's an hour and 40 left of more of that.
I don't know if it was just me as well, but everyone fucking mumbles in this film. Everyone's mumbly Joe. Like they're talking, I'm like, I'm sorry, what did you say? Can you speak? Like when I turned the movie on, it automatically had subtitles on. So someone knew immediately.
It just,
Like, just
it
have them on,
seemed like everyone was struggling with their accents.
And I,
Well, there were multiple accents, like especially throughout the alien people. They all
Like,
had
I
their
don't
own.
know where the princess is from. I don't know if the actress is English or not, but you know, she was doing something with her voice that was weird. Taylor Kitsch is Canadian, which is close to America, so he should be able to do a pretty decent American accent. I've seen him in other stuff where he has an American accent, but here he's just talking like this, like he can't do it.
like someone slowed down just him.
Yeah,
Like on the speedometer.
Like he's really struggling with
Or maybe
he's
that's-
so fucking. It's just fucking boring.
Maybe that's just how they sounded at Civil War times.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, I think it's. I've got. Yeah, actually, John, I think I have the same note as you. 30 minutes in, and I have no idea what the plot is.
No.
I have no idea what's going on.
The Dominic Cooper, who is Dominic Cooper,
It's not Dominic Cooper. It's Dominic West.
Dominic West, who played. I don't know.
Come on. You
Dominic,
started. Come
Dominic West is there to destroy everything because the Blue Goo Men told him,
on. Okay.
and
Why?
because the Blue Goo Men told him.
Okay. Why?
We later find out that they're managing the destruction of Mars.
Okay. Why?
Do you need why for everything?
No.
No.
There is an answer.
No.
I know this
I
answer.
know later on that we find out that they are managing the destruction of Mars. Why? What's in it for them?
Oh,
Because that's how they get their kicks.
yeah.
Is that it?
Their,
Yeah.
their
That's just
answer
how they
is
get their kicks.
whatever.
There is nothing in this for them. That is fucking stupid.
They
It's
are
like in this. It's just whatever. I
they're,
guess
they're
we can.
godlike beings that
They're
can
the big
influence
bonced
things.
fuckers from Green Lantern is what they are.
Yeah. But they actually do something rather than sit around.
It's
Yeah,
bullshit.
they dick
have-
around. Like,
Yeah, they dig around, but you would too. If you were an ultimate powerful being, you just go.
But
look at
they're
all-
not because they get shot.
They get shot and stabbed and cut up. They
Yeah,
die.
okay,
They're
okay.
shit.
They're immortal in the fact that they can live forever. They can teleport and take the form of others. But yeah, they're still not super powerful. They're just more powerful than everyone else. So if you're more powerful than everyone else and everyone else is basically an ant to you, you're going to be, all right, let's collect all these ants and then make them have war against those
Look,
ants.
what really bugs me about this movie is before we even find out that their motivation is they don't have a motivation, is there's all these grand machinations and shit going on and like sneaky plans and behind the scenes, and all John Carter wants to do is go home. If you just send him home,
And then he
he'll probably
flips.
solve.
Then he just flips 180 and it just goes, nah, this is mine
Yeah,
now.
We are
we'll
so
get
far
there.
ahead. We're
We'll get
so
there.
far ahead, aren't we?
Because he has to break out of prison from the aliens, the green men,
Yes.
Tarkus people, kill one of them in a fight, get the shit kicked out of him, get locked back up.
Again, I don't think that was meant to be a prison for him. I think it's just, we found you with the kids, we'll put him with the kids.
Well, they chain him up. They didn't chain the kids up.
Are we talking about when he's in, like, chained up in the cave and there's the big
Dog thing.
dog frog scrotum thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm talking about them.
Which has 6 legs that doesn't mean you're faster. It's, especially not the way they were positioned.
That was honestly one of the worst decisions they could have made, making that thing run fast, because they do not get that right.
Genuinely thought he was the best thing in the movie.
He was quite good, yeah.
He looks like his frames of animation are doubled compared to everybody else. It looks
Well,
horrendous.
how else are you going to make him seem fast?
How about you just have him teleport?
That's rubbish.
Way more
I
interesting.
mean, he's a blink dog, isn't he?
Teleporting
That's
dog,
what he is.
rubbish.
Oh, mate, you just
Yeah.
should have level lockjaw from
Yeah, I
Marvel.
did. Yeah.
Terrible.
No one watched Inhumans. I can shit over him all I want.
You can shit over Inhumans, just not the dog. The dog is a good boy. So yeah, at some point, the princess, the blue guys and the red guys get into a fight over alien territory.
Um,
Well, or like a raiding party or something. Or they're near their home. And John Carter decides, I'm going to intervene. And immediately starts killing the bad guys without knowing who anyone is.
Well, no, because he saw a sexy lady.
Oh, that's true.
And then
He saw
go,
a sexy
oh,
lady."
it's a human. I will kill all these other things that look like humans to prove my love for the sexy human.
Sexy ladies in blue. Save the blue.
This is when the sexy lady genius English princess is falling from the ship. That's
Yes.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I have a problem with
She's
this
run away.
because
Yeah.
the bad guy who the princess was set to marry is now trying to shoot her out of the sky. The movie has missed a scene. I wondered if I had like a mini stroke or something, because the last we saw, he was about to land, and
Yes.
the king was forcing the marriage on the princess.
Yes.
I guess we didn't need the important scene of her escaping and the negotiations going south or anything. You know, a flashback to John Carter's family, who we've never seen or talked about, was way more important
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
than seeing, you know, the crux of the film.
Yeah.
The princess decides to not go through with the marriage and causes a war.
Yeah.
We didn't need to see that.
The war's already ongoing.
All right, well,
The marriage is there to stop the war and bring the two
she
sides
breaks
together.
the truce then.
Yeah, pretty much. And
We didn't need to see that. It's boring. Who cares? Who fucking cares?
But
about
yeah,
You just
actually
don't
see-
care for plot.
I want to go back and see John Carter's family, who we've never fucking talked about.
I was waiting for that to pay off, and it never did. That's so.
it did pay off. His family was dead, and that gave him the motivation to kill aliens. He got the motivation to kill a bunch of different green aliens from the rage of his dead family.
I left people alone before. I won't do it again.
By the way, we find out they burned down in a house, but they look miraculously unburned for a couple of burned dead people.
But but if you're gonna imagine them in your head brain, you probably don't want to imagine them like ghouls.
I guess.
Anyway, so
Stop looking at my big goblin, Dan.
he rescues sexy genius English Mars princess,
Yes.
and then he does some cool like action things to shoot down other ships, and he jumps off the airships. Jumps off the airships back down to Mars, and I pause here and I do some physics.
You can talk about how his bone should rocket through his kneecaps.
Well,
No, but his
here's the
bone
thing.
density is much thicker.
Here's the thing, because I'm wondering how far he'd have to fall before he injured himself.
Well, you worked out terminal velocity then.
You need about 4,000 newtons of force on Earth to break a femur. You'd have to reach about 116 miles per hour for a 170-pound man, which is about 140-meter fall on Earth, in order to reach 160 miles per hour, create 4,000 newtons of force, break your femur. On Mars, the gravity acceleration is 3.71 meters per second, so it would, equate to roughly a fall from 450 to 500 meters in order to reach 160 miles per hour and break his leg. So if he falls from half a kilometer up, that's when we call bullshit. Okay? Because you
Right.
break his fucking leg.
However,
Go on.
later on, when Mark Strong catches him for a bit, he says, because he's just turns out to be a copy, actually says, increased strength and bone density and shit like that. We should have accounted for this. So he is a bit more Superman-y.
No, he's not. He's a copy.
Well, yeah, but that copy
He said it himself. He's a telegram. He's a copy. The only reason his bone density is more than the Martians is because the Martians don't need the big bone density because they live on Mars.
But it also allows him to knock a dude out in one punch, man.
Yes. Can I point out, though, how kind of a shit Superman he is? Because of this Superman things, and then, like, he's supposed to be this big Superman,
buildings a single bound.
strong man, right? Yeah. And then Tarkus picks him up, physically launches him across the room, and moves the rock he's chained to.
Yes.
He's clearly not any stronger than Tarkus or any of those aliens. He's literally... He's just one of them.
He is when the plot calls him to be,
Yes.
which again is the most Superman thing ever.
I believe Superman's power is that he can do whatever he wants as long as he hasn't tried it before.
Anyway,
Yeah.
he rescues super sexy princess lady,
Yeah.
jumps off the airship,
Lands on the ground, she goes, "You're taking me prisoner."
he lands on the ground and starts talking to the princess. And now I know he had the funny water, which means he can understand the aliens. But how does the funny water make them understand him? Or does the princess just talk English because
No,
of convenience?
all the Martians speak the Martian language because they communicate to the aliens.
Okay, so
The four
I
our
had
people
this
communicate to
discussion
the red people.
with my wife on
Okay.
a similar discussion, and at the end of the day, it's magic, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's the Babel fish. The idea is he's had the war. He can understand them and he can speak the language. We just get it in English because that's what it is.
That wasn't made clear.
No, it wasn't made clear. It wasn't made clear
Because
at all.
when he has the funny water, the alien lady standing over him, she's like, you can choose to understand me over him.
Yes. So
John Travoltaing over him.
So you have to assume. Well, it's an assumption on my behalf.
That's made incredibly clear. That's exactly what
It's not
happens
made
at that
incredibly
very
clear.
moment.
She's like, you can choose to hear if you want to hear. She's like, not, and you can also converse with us.
Because he chose to drink.
He didn't. He was forced to drink.
Well, yeah.
You know what? Maybe he was just really wankered.
Maybe.
And he was just babbling.
He's just making it up.
Oh, it turns out I'm actually speaking the language perfectly.
End of the movie, John Carter wakes up in that same prison, chained to the wall.
Like, what a night that was. But yeah, that was the best thing that I could come up with for why.
It's a nitpick, I know, but it's
It was explained in the
stupid.
film.
It wasn't explained. She was like, you can hear us.
Yes, you are drinking this. Now you can hear us. You can understand me as you are drinking
You can
it.
understand me. She doesn't say, I can understand you as well now. Have they all drunk the funny water?
If you
it's my
can,
language.
if you can understand French, you can speak French.
No.
Yes.
No.
Not
You can
necessarily.
speak the same words that you know.
Of course not.
You can.
No.
Just because you can speak a language doesn't mean you can read it. So the same applies.
He
Just 'cause
doesn't
you can
read
speak it. Doesn't mean you could. Just because you can understand doesn't mean
No,
you can speak it.
this is bullshit. This is exactly. Okay, yeah, okay. I learned how to read Japanese. I learned how to speak Japanese. I cannot read Japanese. Fine. If I can understand what a Japanese person is saying to me in Japanese, I can repeat that back to them.
Yeah, you can repeat it back to them. I can do that without understanding someone
No,
who
but
speaks
he-
Japanese.
We know that he can understand it because he's drinking it and he can understand what she's saying.
And he instantly knows how to say it back to them in that
Yes.
language.
I mean,
Don't get me wrong, that's what the movie's gone with.
and
I
that's how it
understand.
works. I mean, so long as their voice boxes are different, which obviously we find out they are not because there are humanoid creatures there that can also speak to them. But yeah, that's exactly what it is. You drink the magic goo, you can hear them, therefore you can... I'm seeing a plot point here. Hang on.
Go on.
Yeah.
Again,
Go on.
Everything's fallen into place. You can only talk back what you've already heard.
Yes,
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Shit.
So I like to think the movie just decided that the Martians speak English. The princess Martians speak English because of convenience. I'm at 1 hour and 3. If anyone has anything before then.
I don't do time codes, you know this.
Okay. Well, I'm before they go up the river.
I'm
Okay.
just after the
Well,
river.
like this is going back, but like I had a thought: is why would the aliens have their babies away from them?
Oh, it did explain that.
Did it?
Oh no, well, it sort of did. It basically said we don't want to know whose offspring are ours, so we put them all together because then that means there's favoritism and they want the strongest to survive.
Because movie misunderstands how to build worlds.
Also, I don't like
Movie
alien
does
society,
not
by the way.
understand world building.
Alien society, a bunch of arseholes, man. Dog turns up, start kicking in the face like, no, fuck you, fuck your entire society for that. Don't like you.
1 hour and 3, right? Just before the river, or they may be on the river at this point. The princess says, if you have a means to save others, would you not take any action to make it so? She had a means. A
She
fucking
did.
great means. A truce had been called. She would be married to the bad dude. And that's a means there. Millions saved. She had another means. You can marry the bad dude, get close, kill him in his fucking sleep. Millions saved. What the princess wants is a war. Because she wants John Carter to go and fight them, which is definitely the better option.
Anything for peace.
Oh, she's a fucking
Do
she's a
that.
fucking hypocrite, is what she is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that.
And
Thing is, she
I'm
even
coming
get-
back
no,
to this line
wait,
later
she
on as
even
well.
Gets the chance.
Don't you point at me! I'll point right back at you.
Hold on. Right before we get onto the river, she has the chance to behead the leader of this army.
This
and
yes,
doesn't
no,
take
this is
it.
later on. This is where I'm going to bring up the point again. She said, if you have a means to save others, would you not take any action to make it so? And she has a fucking sword to the bad guy's neck. And he's like, you can kill me or we can get married. And then she just decides to marry him.
By saving him because she has the means not to chop his head off.
Oh, fuck you.
No, I mean, by the time we get to the river and they're sailing away to the
Ashley
alien
will
thing,
not be joining us for the rest of this podcast because I have stabbed him.
Ow. My
like,
foot.
My only
I
note-
stabbed him in the mouth.
Oh.
Better.
That was an attempt. So the only note I have about the river thing is I don't give a fuck about your problems, lady. I couldn't give less of a shit about whatever she's going on about.
Yeah.
Well, you know what they say. Men are from Earth, women are from Mars. Can't bloody understand them.
Unless you drink the funny water.
Funny
And they speak a lot to you. And then you can converse with them. So, an hour and 9, they've gone up the river. They're walking into the dead tree blue river Millennium
No,
Falcon.
they don't walk into it.
They jump into the temple.
They see the clear opening and go, I'm going to get a closer look.
All
Jump
right,
on top of
all
it.
right, they jump up off it onto the top of the dead blue river Millennium upside down pyramid falcon thing, and their swords are drawn, and the music is tense, and they're all trepidatious, and a shadow watches them. And my note is, don't care, couldn't give a fuck.
Yep.
The music is trying too hard in this film. It wants to be your great John Williams score, and it is not.
I don't think the music tries at all. I think this is Michael Giacchino's laziest score.
The
score
there's nothing
here is
new
just
to it.
nothing.
But
It's
then
just,
again,
I'll bang this out in an hour.
Like for so many years now, like the action movie score has been effectively the same, which is
Hey
very
everyone,
annoying.
do the Marvel theme tune.
That's because Michael Giacchino does the Marvel theme tune and all action movies.
You know, I actually can't tell you what the Marvel thing
No one can. You've kind of got it there. It goes, but there's some bubbers there.
There's notes, there's noises on a trumpet, and that's
But
as much
no
as I
one,
remember.
you say to anyone, do the triumphant Marvel. And the rest.
That's the end. I don't know the beginning, I know the end.
That's it, right?
That's something you would know better than, the highest grossed franchise of our time.
No, that's not it. That's Jurassic Park.
Look at Vision, he's got a thing on his buns.
This is what happens. Hollywood, a composer makes a great piece for a great film, and then Hollywood go, oh, give me that fucking guy for this film. And that guy becomes the composer. It happened with Hans Zimmer as well after Batman.
Yeah.
And it's Michael Giacchino's turn now.
Or just like the single note that came about from Inception.
Yeah. It was,
I love a bit of Zimmer.
what's his face? Oh.
Looking for the composer or the...
The composer, it was him in the 80s.
Gloss. What's his name?
Fuck, I'm not going to remember. Moving on.
Enrico Morricone.
No.
Maurizio.
Alan Silvestri.
Oh,
There you go.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's what they learn in this temple.
It was
Moving on.
him in the mid-80s to mid-90s.
What they learn in this temple.
John Williams, mid-70s to early 80s.
They learn about the
this
life
question
of John
forever.
Williams.
They learn there are 9 planets. And there's the 9th ray.
I just... Look, I don't
2012,
care.
that's acceptable.
I just don't care. It's why I carried on with the composer talk. I couldn't give a fuck.
Well, you have to care because we have to inform the audience.
The print, right, 1 hour 11, they're in this fucking temple thing and talking
Temple
about
of Lost
shit. And the
Gold.
princess is like, oh my god, ships that sail on the sea must be so beautiful.
You just came up
man,
here
it's
on a
called-
fucking
She
came
boat.
up here on a fucking boat!
You can imagine a bigger one of them.
On a
There's no
river
wa-
that was big enough for a bigger one of them.
Wait, guys. There's no water on Mars, remember?
They came up on a river. On the river Iss. They sail up on the fucking river and they
Plus
see
there's-
other people sailing on the fucking river.
We see ponds and wells and shit as
Yeah.
well. That's why.
He drinks from one.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then they have to leave because evil, slightly less green aliens turn up.
Yes, and
happened?
this is where it all starts to go a bit Pete's on. Because
This.
for me,
Okay.
because there's this big triumph. You run away. Me, John Carter, will save the day and kill them all.
Yeah. Me get angry about dead family and kill aliens.
That bit, yeah. But then there's such a triumphant swell to the music. This is his final stand. He's doing this for goodness, justice, and a hard-boiled egg. And it's
the
just...
best reward.
And it's just, I know this is halfway through the film. I know there's another 50 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this to me?
So much more shit
There's
to
no,
happen.
I don't know who these feral alien things are.
We don't know who his family is.
Yeah,
No.
what's the point of that?
Don't care, don't care. The movie hasn't earned this.
Exactly. Yeah, true. Movie did not.
Do you know, it very much reminded me of Wolverine. I like
the
use
bit where-
rage to kill people.
I like the bit where the man had a magic staff and threw cards at people.
I mean,
Oh, I want to hit you so fucking hard.
right. The thing about this scene where John Carter takes on an army is that it's nicely cut and it's it's juxtaposed all right. And I can't fucking say it, can I? The score it's fine. This Andrew Stanton, the director, coming from his animation background, knows how to tell a story with visuals. But this is such heavy source material. There's so much explanation needed. The movie doesn't have the time. It doesn't have the time to explain all this and why we should care. It hasn't earned this. So it can be as put together as nicely as it wants to be, this scene. When it comes down to it, I couldn't give two shits.
No.
Couldn't give a fuck.
And why should you? Because this movie doesn't give you anything. Like, as I keep saying, this movie tells you so much and tells you so little at the same time. It's so weird. It says a lot of stuff, but it doesn't explain to you why you should care about
It
that stuff.
feels like it's trying to cover 3 books worth of source material while giving us nothing.
Yeah, it's got that feel, but I'm pretty sure it is just based on the one book, isn't it?
It's pretty much based on the first book. Like, when the director was set down to do this, he said he wanted it to be as true to the book as possible. I don't know how true that is because I didn't read the book or any of the pulp comics or whatever. So I couldn't tell you that, but
If you drank a magic brew, you could read.
it's called Special Brew.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's where we've got to. And this point is just look at each other and shrug. It's just go, well, that's this film.
Right, that's the halfway point of that film. When you get to that point, you just go, fuck it, whatever, man.
Oh, we've run out of energy.
Guys, we still have so much more to go.
There's so much dead air.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you some.
Have you got a tidbit for me?
I've got
a new theme tune if we do.
Tidbit
No, it's a
time.
different theme tune.
Oh, we're always changing it up. Next
This-
week it's going to be something else.
This is the new theme tune. It's tidbits.
Thank you. I'll use that then to go into this.
Thank you.
Oh.
So Stan, he often rejected marketing ideas from the studio, according to those who worked on the film, and he used his own ideas instead. So, example, stuff like he ignored criticism about the use of Led Zeppelin's Kashmir in the trailer, as it would make it seem less current than the contemporary younger audiences the film was seeking. So he said, it's too old for the younger audiences, let's not use it, even though it's a very good song.
Yes, it is. It's not right for this, though, is it?
No, not necessarily right for this, but it may have gone people go, oh yeah, because he plays a big role in these sorts of things.
I remember seeing the posters for this movie and just
Yes, go on.
they were just the words John Carter on red.
He also chose the billboard imagery that failed to resonate with a prospective audience.
Yeah. No shit.
He did not include the name of the writer Edgar Rice Burroughs in advertisement, which may have pulled in people who knew who Edgar Rice Burroughs was. He left out most of the romantic subplot from the trailer that might have attracted female moviegoers, stuff like that. And he put together a preview reel that did not get a strong reception from a convention audience as well.
Now, here's the thing. I work with a lot of people in marketing and advertising agencies, and while many of them are bad people and idiots who wear hats indoors and drink their juice with 2 hands.
I love my juice. How about we put Led Zeppelin in here for this advert? Yum. Some juice. And
This is where we've got to. Dead air and this.
and some love imagery. And how about we put this in as well?
That's what they do. They know they are idiots, but they know how to attract an audience.
Yes. And he pretty much turned all that shit down to go, no, it has to be this way. Because he had complete creative control. And perhaps he went a little bit to his head and he went a little power mad. But no one cared.
He
No one
shouldn't
cared.
have had creative control. It was his first live-action movie. He may have done great work for Pixar, but Disney dropped the ball here, giving him complete control and $250 million to play with.
So, now we were talking about that harness earlier.
Yeah.
I found the fact I was looking forward to attach to that.
Come on in.
So, obviously, it was attached to Kidge. And the attached harness he had on, it allowed him to free fall at a speed of 80 miles per hour.
Right?
Yeah. And so, yeah, he found that unpleasant.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
Well, yeah, you would, wouldn't you? An hour
So
and
there's going to be
24.
no Taylor Kitsch Jr., is what you're saying.
Thanks.
Hour and 24. Okay,
Yeah.
going back to the point we touched on earlier, is that she had the sword to his throat 5 minutes ago. She had the sword to Dominic West's throat.
Yes.
She could have killed him,
Yes.
and now at an hour and 24, she's just going to marry him. He was on his knees and said that she could kill him if she wanted to. She was surrounded by her army. And now she's here. She's like, oh, what choice did I have? You don't have means to others. You didn't take any action towards it. You had a fucking sword to his throat. I thought she had a plan. I thought she was she didn't kill him and she was marrying him because she had a plan. No, she's just gonna marry him.
Yeah. Really.
Why?
Because John Carter was like, you could have done it before.
She was introduced as a genius inventor princess. She's a fucking moron.
Like at this point, I couldn't give a shit about her or anything she's going on
She's
about,
an
man.
insult to morons.
Well,
No offense to any morons out there.
you got to keep in mind that this is seeing the decline of Mars as a planet and turning it into... I don't know where the rest of the books go, but I'm assuming it has to turn into a barren wasteland at some point soon, seeing as this is Civil War, like American Civil War times.
I don't
And,
know. Or maybe they find water again. I don't know. Or she gets research on the blue light.
and
I
then,
don't know.
yeah, maybe if they get off the planet. But you need to think, like, this is a planet that's turning to shit, probably because of all this warfare. So let's just have some dumb,
So kill the
smart
guy
people.
who's doing all the warfare.
Yeah, but then there'll be others. You've got the management people. You've got the Tilda Swintons in control. They're going to make sure Mars fucks it.
So shoot them. Because they die really easily.
Is this the point
Do
where...
you?
Is this the point where the Mobies capture John Carter and start going like, oh, we're going to tell you my evil plan.
And they literally say the
Yes.
words, you don't have a dog in this fight, and then we wait 5 minutes for the dog.
Yeah.
Yep. He has a little control wrist thing, which he scratches like a DJ from the hip hop era times. It'll just like with it.
He's got the DJ Hero app for his iWatch.
Yes.
Yeah.
That he used to control John Carter
I want the rock right now.
and go,
he's doing.
look, they are getting married, and we're going to kill her because fuck it, whatever, man.
He tells him more of his plan than a fucking Bond villain.
Yeah. He tells him like every detail down to the underwear he's wearing.
Sly Dog got him monologuing. Andrew Stanton worked for Pixar.
Yeah.
Works with Pixar. Worked with Brad Bird, who made The Incredibles. There's a whole thing in The Incredibles about monologuing. They are good friends.
Mate, he often went to the Brain Trust, the in-house animating people, instead of going to people who have experience working with live action stuff because he trusted their opinion more,
Yeah.
which clearly bit him in the arse.
Yeah.
No offense to the Brain Trust, but they don't work on live action movies. Don't go to them.
No,
go to the live action
completely
directors.
different beasts.
But
Yes.
also, if this was as true to the story as you're claiming, then this whole monologuing thing, remember it was 1910 times or whatever, so perhaps it was fairly new to do then, or
Maybe
common or whatever.
I guess it was a pulp thing, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Probably. Who knows? Not us, because we're not cultured enough to read them.
bet.
No? But we get this when we get the, oh yeah, we're going to kill him now, I think they want to kill John Carter at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
then he
then-
gets saved.
He has a Jack and Daxter 2 hoverbike chase,
Yes.
and it's probably the first fun thing to happen in about an hour.
Yeah, I'll give that to you.
Yeah.
He flies it back to the green aliens.
Lasts less than a minute.
He flies it back to the green aliens, goes, I need to get my buddy who let me go earlier and didn't kill me. And he goes, oh no, the evil one is now evil and took over. And then they get thrown in the pit to fight white apes. Which is just...
Straight out of Attack of the Clones.
Yep.
They
Yep.
get thrown into an arena, and he's chained up, and big monsters are going to come out and kill him, and it's straight out of Attack of the Clones.
But
The
still,
best Star Wars movie to borrow from.
yeah, it's still better. Still manages to be better than that final scene.
Yeah, like, that happens, and then he kills the guy in charge, and then he gets his army.
You know,
And then he heads back.
yeah, this movie...
Oh yeah, that great triumphant duel with the leader, which takes all of negative seconds.
Just jump up and cut his head off.
Yeah.
When John Carter... One of the problems I have with John Carter is that he's not very likable. The character of John Carter is not likable because he's so bland, and it's not what you want from your sci-fi adventure hero.
No.
And in the arena, when he kills the white ape, it lands on top of him, and he cuts his way through the torso of the beast, and he climbs out the other side, covered in blue blood and guts, and he just holds the sword aloft, and he's like to the green alien, he's like, "I want to fight you."
Yep.
To the green alien. How much better and more likable would John Carter have been? How much more relatable would he have been if, as he bursts out of this white ape covered in gunk and the arena's all cheering him, he just lets out a little gag.
That would
a
be
retch
some character.
doesn't even have to be a quip. Not even a quip. Just as he bursts out after climbing through the entrails of a beast, goes, just something. It doesn't take much, but the movie doesn't even attempt to make him fun.
They don't give him a character. There's no character
No.
to him. There's no character to most of these people in this.
No.
Apart from maybe Tars Tarkus.
Tars Tarkus is the best one in this film.
Willem Dafoe's probably the best thing in any movie he's in, though.
Yeah, to be fair.
Also, yes.
The movie should have been about 40 minutes shorter.
Yes. Because we didn't need that arena fight. That just didn't need to
I would have
happen.
kept the arena fight. I think the entire movie should have just been John Carter, winds up on Mars with these 4-armed Martians, wants to get back home. You cut everything with the Redskin princesses and Mark Strong. You cut all of that shit, and it's just about John Carter and these green dudes, and he wants to get home.
Okay. Yeah, that
90
That may have
minutes.
worked better. It would have been a lot more focused.
90 minutes of a fun romp with these weird creatures.
Then it would have been like Last of the Mohicans, though. It would have been, he's with a strange sort of tribe that he has to learn their way, and then he has to get back.
Or
Well, he has to
Last
help
Samurai.
out the tribe when they're in trouble. The whole overthrowing of Willem Dafoe still happens, and the arena scene still happens, and he still becomes their champion.
Actually, that would have been more interesting to see. Is the secession of power from Defoe's character to whatever the other guy was.
I think he just got beat up.
Well, yeah, clearly. I'd say what I did like. One thing I did like about this movie, and that was the idea that John Carter was actually a copy. I quite like the fact that he was just a copy. He didn't actually physically get transported. He just got copied and put on Mars.
Yeah, that's something, I guess.
It's something. I mean, it's not.
It's a very little something to take away from this movie.
I personally
but
didn't like that because it kind of took all impetus away from any kind of peril. Because they went, "Oh, I'm just a copy."
Yeah,
Well, we get right near the end. He goes, "If my body dies on Earth, I die on Mars."
that's it. Right,
So you have to assume it's the other way around. As well,
right at the end. Yeah. Maybe if it did get a sequel, there would have been some peril, with the people on Earth trying to kill him, and he can't get back to save his body, and somebody's having to try and save him on Earth. That could have been something, but that didn't happen.
No.
An hour and 53. She marries John Carter. The princess marries John. They've known each other for 48 hours, and all he's done in those 48 hours is stop her from falling over a bunch of times.
That's not true. He's known her for at least 5 days.
Oh, sorry. Well, may as well get married after 5 days then. Look
Yeah,
at all
but
the
also-
times he stopped her from falling.
Also, hang on, they've
They
already
travelled
got
for 3 days near to her home and then turned around and went a different way. Okay? At least 5.
they've got this medieval mentality of, okay, I'll marry your daughter and then we'll stop this war. We'll have an agreement. There we go.
Yeah.
He becomes a champion and a basically the leader of the green aliens. So basically, she's saying, "Oh, I don't want to
He
marry
becomes their Jedak.
a Jeddak." Thank you. Which it took me a long time to realize Jeddak was an all-encompassing word.
Yes,
So
'cause
it
there's
wasn't just the type of people.
Tarkus is a Jedak, and there's a Jedak of helium.
Yeah. So basically, the king or the leader.
And there's a flimpy flonk of flimpy doom.
That's what I aspire to be.
Yeah.
So she says, "Yeah, I don't want to marry the one who's actually causing damage to us and who I could save everyone just by saying I do. I'm just going to marry the slightly more attractive one who's already we're friends with. So not any diplomatic gain or anything like that, just because I want to get my bone on."
Why doesn't his funny water translate words like Jedak?
True. Maybe because it
question.
is only a single-use word, like bungalow.
Leader. No, it doesn't
It
turn
might
into
not.
leader.
It might not be leader.
Champion.
They have the words leader, champion, king, but they also have the word Jeddak.
Sure.
Brand new word that we can't translate.
Sure.
It's just Babelfish just gives up, jumps out of his ear. It's gone, nope.
Get done with this. But he gets sent back after the marriage and after sex, which I imagine he had to very carefully control.
Yes,
Right.
Mark Strong shows up and sends him back
Yep.
because of the reasons that Mark Strong's character has.
So he must have been gone for a while, and the movie doesn't explain how long he's gone for.
Because Bryan Cranston's a skeleton.
He's a skeleton. How
there-
long
No,
He's a
that
skeleton.
wasn't Bryan Cranston. That was the Tilda Swinton dude.
No, it wasn't. It was
That
Bryan
was
Cranston in the
Bryan
opening
Cranston,
of the
'cause he was in
cave.
uniform still.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was a skeleton.
So can I ask you guys, how long would it take a body to skelify
In an
in a
arid
cave untouched
in a cave, in an
that
arid
no one looked
cave.
for?
Come on, Ashley.
In effectively a dirt hole.
Yeah, you're looking at over 50 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So for 54, and he's on Mars for what, maybe 5 days?
We can assume he was there. His time must have worked different
Right,
somehow.
So 5, yes,
Maybe
exactly.
because his clothes
They
have
don't-
gone.
They don't tell you, right?
His clothes have
But this
solidified.
Yeah, so this brings up something else to me, right? So he's maybe what, 5 days, 6 days, maybe a week tops on Mars, right?
But
Rough-
they're
and we're saying
Martian weeks.
Roughly 50 years on Earth has passed for Bryan Cranston to turn into a skeleton. He then spends 13 years on Earth before he gets
Right.
back, right? Accumulating wealth and spending money and blah, 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 and all that. So was he gone for what, 6 hours?
8 to 12 years to decompose to a skeleton.
8 to 12 years, okay.
Skeleton.
But in what climate? Because that changes all
I
throughout.
don't know. Google.
Yeah.
I didn't ask Google that much information.
So yeah, okay.
Because
So
in an arid
effectively-
place without any predators.
So what happened is that Martian...
There was predators. Did you not see the horses?
That's true. So what
They're mad for a bit of flesh.
Them American Civil War horses.
So yeah, he gets sent back 13 years later and he comes back, which must have been, for Mars, roughly what, an hour? He disappears for an hour and then comes back.
I don't know because I don't care to figure it out.
And then we get the thing of, oh, I've got to protect your body right now. I'm the key. NED on the grave. On the grave letters to get into the
You
grave.
sound so disjointed.
Yeah.
But that's this movie.
Yeah.
That's what happens next.
That
It's so
whole bit
disjointed.
with the nephew was.
We
was-
come back to the bookend of the nephew, yeah.
Yeah.
Which
But hey, you never called me whatever, Edgar. You always called me Ned. Let me now put Ned into the thing.
Shock, I'm not in the coffin.
the
Blammo! To the bad guy.
the bookend is not worth making this movie 20 minutes longer. It's needlessly complex. He wrote a diary to give to Ned, which details his Mars adventures and how he comes back to Earth and spent 10 years looking for a medallion and how he found it and how the inside of how his tomb can only be opened from the inside. And because he fakes his death, his copy is really on Mars, but that's not true because he didn't find the medallion and he faked his death with poison from a blowfish, thus trapping a Thurn to steal their medallion because he didn't get one of those either. Just give it up, movie. Just give it up. This is needlessly complex. Just cut it. Just
Stop after the consummation and roll credits.
end.
Also, just putting it like that, because at the end of that diary, he goes, "Oh, you kind of have to move quickly. They might be after me."
Put it at the start of the fucking diary then.
Because he's just read this whole book.
Exactly.
And we already know how good this kid's reading is. Not great. So he's probably there for a couple of weeks.
Like, I couldn't stop screaming in that final battle. It's like, just kill that fucking bald prick right now. Right, just kill him. So you could just kill him now. Problems can be solved. Why let him go? Kill him. Kill him.
Kill him.
Do it. But no.
And then we get 9 minutes of credits.
Yes, we do.
Which Dan sat through, and I'm hoping you didn't, Liz, because I certainly did.
I fast forwarded him. I had it on the iPad, and I just put the finger on the scrubber, scrubbed to the end. Nothing was in there. Turned it off.
Oh, no, I dropped my pen.
How
This
dare
movie
you.
took me. It took me 3 days to watch this movie.
It took me this morning.
It's not because I had to pause it. It's because the movie is 3 days long. Fucking movie.
I watched it on times 3 speed.
So, greatest movie or greatest movie?
Yes.
I'm not answering the question.
No, I would not recommend watching this film.
I would. I think it's all right. It's up there with it's. Do not watch The Scorpion
All
King.
right is a good enough recommendation. Tell
for
people
some
go out and
films.
watch this movie. It's all right.
For some films, sure.
No, not this sort of movie.
Watch.
Not for this.
You can. I mean, there are people who will happily watch The Scorpion King, for example. Do not do that. Watch this.
Where are they? Show me them.
I would rather watch The Scorpion King
There's
than
one.
this movie.
He said he'd rather watch it than this movie. Not he would happily watch it of his own accord.
Yeah, but
Right.
this is Dan we're talking about. I'm pretty sure the next words out of his mouth are, actually.
I've not seen The Scorpion King.
Oh, so you're going
I
to.
don't want to watch it. But if given the choice with a gun to my head, I will pick Scorpion King because at least The Rock's in there.
That's okay. If that's your seal of quality.
Shall we final thoughts this movie?
Oh, it's a bad film. I didn't realize how bad it was when I picked it. Oh, no.
Yeah. I didn't. Fuck you.
Just fair. It's fair.
I'm.
So would you rather I pick Ghostbusters?
No.
Ooh,
No.
ooh.
No. I was going to consider it, but no.
I guess we'll find out next time, won't we, Dan?
I'm gonna fucking kill you with the salt and pepper shaker.
Oh.
I've said before, right? I've said it before that I can accept a bad movie. I can watch a bad
Yes.
movie, but it's the boring ones that really fuck me off. And this was so boring. And
Yeah, I had the same thought.
what makes it worse is you can see the potential there,
Yeah.
which makes it so much more frustrating.
It certainly makes sense after learning about, what the director was doing with the story and how much control he had over it.
Yeah.
That certainly rings true after having seen it.
I like Andrew Stanton's output of Pixar.
Yes,
Yeah.
he has a very good back catalogue.
Yeah.
There's no denying that.
No, he's a great Pixar animation director. He's fantastic, and I don't want to put people in boxes, but there's only one Pixar director who's successfully branched out into live action, and that was Brad Bird with the Mission Impossible that he did.
Yeah.
And even then, when he came back and did a live action for Disney, Tomorrowland, was a bit pants.
Oh, more
You
than
know,
that.
So, get back in the box, Andrew Stanton. That's where you live as a Pixar man.
Go back to the Brain Trust. Don't leave. Lock the door.
Don't try new things. You will fail. That's the message of this podcast.
Good.
Right. Shall we get some drinks before I tell you about the potentials for the sequels?
Yes, also.
Also, we also have a pod wife to talk about.
Yes, we do. Do you want? Should I introduce them? Seeing as you don't know who they are.
Yeah, introduce them. I wasn't told.
Do your best Dan impression.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this.
Big beard, hair. Hello. No.
I wish I sounded like thingy.
10,000 years!
Gordon's alive.
God, I wish I sounded like Brian Blessed.
This is Ragbag Podcast. They're another podcast from the Britpod scene, and we highly recommend you check them out. This is their promo. Go and listen, do the things, and we'll be back in a second. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dan.
Frank Burton does this podcast called Ragbag, and it's really different. But if you're in the mood for something different, I would listen to that.
Welcome to Ragbag. My name's Frank Burton.
Kind of 1 part comedy, 2 parts kind of awesome DJ music hour, and just all parts a little bit strange.
I have a thing about corrugated metal. Yeah. Corrugated metal. That's a good one.
It's weird. It's a weird podcast.
I adore it. I found it very funny.
I think I used the expression glorified pickpocketing scam. Anyway, sorry for the confusion. I hope we can let sleeping dogs lie, and perhaps you can ask your lawyers to stop writing me threatening letters. Thank you.
Pick up the rock bag! Pick up the rock bag! Enjoy the rest of the rock bag podcast.
You got a sponsor? Welcome back, everybody.
That was a weird.
Our sponsor is Welcome Back, everybody, where we welcome you back.
So aggressive. Ease them in, Dan.
You got a sponsor, hello.
Oh, hello there, dear audience. Lewis, do thou have a sponsor?
Nice.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Would thou please read it to me?
Yes.
Oh, would thee?
Yes, I would, my liege. We are sponsored by Zipped Recruiter. Are your recruiters too big to send by email? Why not zip them to reduce the human file size? Zipped Recruiter.
Love it.
There you go. Dan,
Yes.
my liege,
Yes.
my lord, my love. Tell us about the sequel shit.
I will.
Start so
Do
well.
the premise of this podcast, please.
I will do the premise of this podcast, Lewis. So, as we stated earlier, this movie was quite the big old flop. It didn't make a lot of money. No one really gave a shit. Who cared about John Carter? Well, when it was first coming out, it was set to be a trilogy, right? Work had begun on a sequel kind of almost immediately. Effectively, as soon as this was greenlit.
Question.
Yeah.
Were there 3 books in the series?
Oh, would you guys like to have a guess at how many books are in the series?
11.
13.
You are bang on with 11.
I also said 11.
So it was, like I said, going to be a trilogy, and the 2 sequels were going to be based on the second and third novels, which were The God of Mars. Well, this sequel would have been The God of Mars, but obviously after seeing how shit it did, it fell apart. Taylor Kitsch and Willem Dafoe both said, they are strong supporters of the film. They actually quite enjoyed the film. And worked on
Mark
it,
strong
so-
supporters.
And they showed support for a John Carter 2. Stanton himself, he actually tweeted out both the titles and the logos of the second and third films of what they would have been, which would have been Gods of Mars and Warlords of Mars. So I can give you a little excerpt from the Gods of Mars book, so we can get an idea of what the sequel would have been.
Oh, please do.
I'll just give you a taste of the opening thing from the plot summary. This is directly from Wikipedia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. After John Carter's arrival, a boat of green Martians on the River Is are ambushed by the previously unknown plant men. The lone survivor is his friend Tars Tarkas, the Jeddak of Thark, who has taken the pilgrimage to the Valley Door to find Carter. Having saved their own lives, Carter and Tars Tarkas discover that the Therns, a white-skinned race of self-proclaimed gods, have for eons deceived the Barsoomians elsewhere by disseminating that the pilgrimage to the Valley Door is a journey to paradise. Most arrivals are killed by the beasts of the valley, and survivors enslaved by the Therns. That's just the opening for the plot summary.
My main gripe there is the white-skinned things, because one thing I was wondering during the film is, would you have the white-haired apes on Mars? Because we only really have white things where there is snow, and yet there is no snow on Mars, as far as we know.
Well, I mean, assumedly,
There's also no water on Mars, but they had a great big fuck off river.
There is water on Mars.
A great big fuck off river's worth.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, there's not
assumedly-
any more because of the war that fucked everything over.
Of course.
Assumedly, these unforeseen
Mark
plant
Strong
men would have
drunk
been
it all
white
up.
themselves, but who knows?
He loves a river.
I did find in my research someone had done their own fan-made version of a sequel
Tell me you watched
to
it.
this movie. No, I didn't. It wasn't a watch. It was just like a little written thing on IMDb.
Oh, who writes out shitty sequels for things that didn't happen?
Would you like to know what his name is? This is written.
Conjata.
No.
Damn.
It's written by September Morn 321.
Taylor Kish.
So his plot, the plot of this guy that I found, right, this is called Return of John Carter, which would have been in 2015, is 10 years after his forced exile from his new home, John Carter of Virginia finally returns to Barsoom in search for his lost love, Deja Thoris. He clashes with new and vicious enemies in the Plant Men, the Holy Therns, and the Black Pirates of Barsoom, and discovers the horrifying truth behind the religious hierarchy of the Red Planet when he comes face to face with the goddess Isis herself.
It's a better sequel pitch than any of us have got, I'm sure.
Yes, but still, it bored me.
I mean, it's hard not to. There's also a board game of this.
Any good?
Well, last I checked, it's on Kickstarter. And
so not going to happen.
So not a board game of this.
it had a £20,000 goal, and it reached its goal, and it has 228,000.
When?
Seems to be quite recently.
Wait. It had a goal of 20,000 and it's made 200,000.
Made 228,000, yes.
What?
Yes. You can still get a late pledge.
You
if you
could
go
fund
on
a
there now.
movie with that money.
If you go, depending when this goes out, you may still be able to go onto Kickstarter and fund a late pledge for John Carter of Mars board game.
All right.
But that's most I can find. If you want to know more about that second book of John Carter of Mars, it honestly reads like a fever dream. I only gave you guys the opening scroll for it. But if you go and read that plot summary, it does seem crazy.
You said Andrew Stanton posted the logos for the second and third movie.
He did, yeah. Apparently he tweeted out the logos and the titles. I'll try and find them and retweet them.
Yeah, we'll stick those on Twitter if we find them,
nice. But that's pretty much everything you can find the sequel. I mean, and if you want to, you can just go and read the books to see exactly where John Carter would have been.
Thanks.
No, that's not what we're here. We're here to talk about
I hate it, thank you.
sequels to the movie.
Yes.
So since you loved it so much, Lewis, why don't you go first? Why don't you give us your sequel first?
Okay. I worked long and hard on this.
Oh, yeah. I can bet.
Yeah, right, here we go. You don't believe me. Listen to this. Get this down you. So, John Carter of Mars is in Helium with Deja Thoris when they receive a message from a Thark scout. They've discovered a green and verdant land on the other side of the planet, so John Carter flies around to the dark side of Mars on his Ninky Nonk and finds a luscious forest. The forests, in the forest are these rotund, squat creatures, each of them unique, and John Carter discovers that this forest is a safe haven for displaced aliens led by their leader, Makapaka. So John Carter recruits the displaced aliens.
No, I know the name Makapaka. I know exactly where the fuck this is going.
So John Carter recruits the displaced aliens, Makapaka, the Watingas, Tomblibooey and Oo, Derek Jacobi and Iggle Piggle. And they all go down the River Riss at night time where they are lulled to sleep.
Also, who calls Derek Jacobi?
Shush. I'm not done. John Carter wakes up and they're back in the forest, where everything that happened yesterday happens again. It never changes. It never ends. There's no escape. John Carter goes insane and starts calling himself Jinky Kaka. And starts... John Carter goes insane and starts calling himself Jinky Kaka and starts spouting off utter fucking gibberish. The adults hate it, but it's still better than the first movie. And it's called John Carter of the Night Garden.
He's not the only one that went insane, was he?
Did you fall asleep all right there and wake up in Night Garden and go, that'll do?
No, I just thought everyone had a stupid fucking name in this movie, like In the Night Garden.
Derek Jacobi.
That's the song of a man who's had enough in the Night Garden in his life.
I've never really watched it. I know that there is a song in the Night Garden that goes Maka Paka Ika Waka Ika Paka Boo. Those are the words, and that is exactly how the first movie sounded to me. I'm a Thark and a Jack and a fucking This is a
Spider-Man.
This is a Thurn and I'm a Thark and you a Deja Thoris and I'm a Jadak. I don't care. John Carter of the Night Garden.
Lovely. Ashley.
Right, okay. Right, so... your one's called John Carter Night Garden. Mine's called John Carter of Mars. And John Carter returns to Mars. But because of all the time dissonance and shit, it's 100 years later on Mars. So helium is half destroyed and his wife is dead and a new power has risen. With Mark Strong whispering...
Is it Sauron?
A new power has risen. With Mark Strong whispering in the ears of its leader. They're yellow aliens with 6 arms. And they're just...
It's the sequel, gotta go bigger.
It's gotta. And they're just about to destroy helium when Carter leaps out and takes them on, being able to destroy them with his enhanced strength. But one lightship is able to flee and tell of Carter's return. This one-time Prince of Helium is now tasked with defending his people as he also searches for Mark Strong or any of the other Tilda Swinton fuckheads. And they can send him through time back to his wife, who will be alive in the past times. Again, the 6-armed yellow aliens return with their leader to see this John Carter and destroy him. And during the fight, Mark Strong commands the leader to shoot John Carter and destroys his medallion thingy. This causes John to chase after Mark Strong, who teleports away, leaving Carter to be surrounded and taken capture by the yellow aliens. Helium is destroyed and Carter is taken to a floating city where they try to turn him to their side and to become their weapon, just like the Tharks did. All while he's taunted by Mark Strong, who turns up as various different jailers. Just goes, fuck you, John Carter.
Is that all he says?
Pretty much.
Fuck you, John Carter.
And the final...
Daffy Duck's out of there.
The final act sees John Carter escape from his cell with the return and help of his now aging buddy, Dog Boy.
Dog Boy?
No, I didn't get his name.
So he's just called Mr. D Boy. Dog Boy to you,
you
sir.
could call him Frog Dog,
Dog Boy.
Scroat Dog.
Scroat Dog, Inside Out Bulldog.
Scroat is his middle name.
Okay.
Dog Scroat Boy. Oh, sorry, carry on.
Oh, Christ.
Tell us more about Dog Scroat Boy.
Okay. So they slaughter their way through the city and confront Mark Strong, demanding that he takes them back in time. And Mark Strong laughs and reveals that there is no going back. Time is a flat circle and we only go forwards. And now John Carter is stuck here to die with the rest of the planet, truly making him John Carter of Mars. Dog Scroat Boy.
Dog Scroat Boy. Dog Scroat Boy does whatever a dog scroat does.
Floats
Floats above the water surface.
Don't touch me. It's fucking weird.
Gets in the way, uncomfortable when it sits on your lap. Dog Scroat. It is a Dog Scroat Boy.
Dan, what's yours?
Well, yeah, shit. Yeah, okay. John Carter goes on a massive war with the Moby gods because he's fucking sick of them fucking with his shit. With the help of the aliens and the Mars humans, he fights them all and he kills them and he wins at the end. And it's called John Carter Against the Gods.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll do.
But what happened to Dog Scroat Boy, Dan?
I didn't have time for Dog Scroat Boy in my sequel. He's a cameo.
Yeah.
So that was a sequel pitches. You can vote for him on Twitter when the poll goes up. You can vote for Lewis or Ashley's or mine. Or even September Morn's one if you want.
Don't,
'Cause
they'll
he had
win.
his own sequel. He better be in the goddamn poll.
He put effort into his. He can't. It's not fair. He tried. He cared.
Have a vote.
He
Tell us-
enjoyed the movie. It's not on.
Probably did.
It's an unfair advantage.
Hey, it just makes the victory all the more sweeter.
For him.
So, guys, please check out the poll. Have a vote.
Check it
Google
out where,
us.
Dan? Where will they check it out?
They can check it out on Twitter at Full Starts Podcast.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. We're most active on there at the moment. We're on Facebook.
He says we. He means me.
I don't have access to it.
There's
You
a
do.
reason for
I
that.
don't. I actually
You do.
don't. I'm
You
not-
do. In the Google Docs, there is a document with all the passwords and emails on. You do.
I could, but I don't. I don't.
I know what I'm changing our passwords to
fucking know you
after
don't.
today, though.
Anyway, yeah, Google us. You can find us on
Google.
Google.
Everywhere except Spotify still.
That's the one.
And Google Play. I'm not fighting them anymore.
Fuck it, they don't want us. It's fine. I'll take my rabble elsewhere.
They'll have us when I buy some Azerbaijani subscribers. I tell you now.
So the only thing left to do then
Banned
is
in
for
$80 for 80 subscribes.
beautiful.
That's what we're getting.
Ash, you give us our next movie then, please.
Okay.
If it's
well,
Ghostbusters, prepare for some pain.
I've got some questions for you guys, especially you, Lewis. Can you face the challenge of the champions? Do you have the courage of a hero? Do you have the will and skill?
Are you reciting the Gladiators theme tune at me?
Are you a gladiator?
Okay.
You're like, okay, that's not a bad film.
Okay.
We're going to watch Gladiator, and it's going to be good.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's do a decent.
It's a good film. Do not
got-
take it as a historical drama, as someone told me earlier.
It's got Joaquin Phoenix in it.
Yes, it does have Phoenix in it.
And Rusty Grizzle.
Okay. Okay, good.
Making movies, making songs,
Fine.
fighting around the world.
Nope, fine. Good. It's good.
Thank you
Lovely.
for joining us, everybody. Thank you too for joining me as well. And we will see you in the future. Goodbye, everybody.
I didn't have a choice. I had to be here.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, bye.
If a lager comes up to me in a restaurant, because I won't order one.
Oh, you pronounce the T in restaurant.
and it doesn't have a head on it, I will get my fork or knife and make sure that there is a head so that it is not gaseous and bloats my stomach and then makes me burpy.